How to use Canva Visual Suite 2.0. You've probably been using Canva for a while now. Maybe you've put together eye-catching Instagram graphics, crafted a few polished presentations, or even designed a lead magnet or two to grow your email list. But what if I told you that now, with just one single project inside Canva, you could manage your entire content campaign from start to finish? Imagine being able to create your Instagram carousel, Instagram stories, Facebook and LinkedIn posts, your newsletter header, email designs, even your draft website, digital banners, and your full content planning spreadsheet, all within one cohesive, streamlined project. This isn't just a small update or a new template. This is one of the most powerful features Canva has ever released, and it was officially introduced at Canva Create this year. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works, and more importantly, how you can start using it immediately as a small business owner, a marketer, or a content creator to seriously simplify your workflow and boost your productivity. Let's begin by looking at the bigger picture. Canva Visual Suite 2.0 isn't just a simple redesign or a minor improvement in the interface. It's a full transformation of how we can now handle our visual projects. Up until now, if you wanted to build a complete campaign, you had to create and manage dozens of individual design files. Every format, be it a story, a post, a banner, or a document, had its own separate project. But now, with this powerful new upgrade, Canva is shifting that entire process. Visual Suite 2.0 allows you to bring all of those different design formats together into one connected, centralized workspace. That means you can design smarter, faster, and with far more consistency across your brand visuals, without jumping back and forth between files or recreating content for each platform manually. Each of these design types, whether it's a story, a post, a banner, or a document, has its own specific size and purpose. But now, with Canva's new Visual Suite, you can bring all of them into one single unified project. And for small business owners and content creators, this change is massive. Why? Because it means you're no longer wasting valuable time switching between multiple design files, opening and closing tabs, or trying to keep track of separate versions. Instead, you can focus your energy on what really matters: producing high-quality, consistent content, and dedicating more time to the areas of your business that need your attention most. So, how exactly does this new feature work? Let's walk through it. If you head over to your Canva homepage, you can start this process from literally any design type. That's right, you don't have to begin with a special template or a designated format. The Visual Suite is now built directly into Canva's editing experience. For this walkthrough, I'm going to start with something slightly different: a sheet. This is a brand new design format that Canva introduced alongside the Visual Suite, and it's perfect for organizing plans and tracking content. So that'll be the very first page in my project. Now, once you've opened your design, you'll notice that the editor looks almost exactly the same as what you're used to: clean, familiar, and easy to navigate. But here's the key difference. Look over to your page panel and you'll see a small plus sign with a tiny arrow right next to it. It might seem minor, but that little arrow is the real game changer here. Normally, if you just clicked on the regular plus sign, you'd be adding another page of the same design type, in this case, another sheet. But when you click on the arrow, you'll pull up a completely new panel, and this is where the magic happens. From this panel, you can now add any other design type you need, whether it's a whiteboard, a full presentation, an Instagram story or post, print materials like posters or business cards, or even custom-sized designs. And every time you add a new format, Canva automatically opens it as a brand new page within the exact same project. That means your entire campaign, regardless of how many formats it includes, can now live in one single scrollable file, keeping everything neat, cohesive, and accessible. So now, as you can see, when I switch between the two pages in this single project, I have my sheet as the first page and a whiteboard as the second. It's just like navigating through your regular pages inside a Canva project. But the major difference now is that each of these pages can have completely different formats and dimensions. That's the beauty of it. You're no longer confined to just duplicating the same type of page over and over again. Instead, you're building a multi-format campaign all in one place. Since we started off with a Canva sheet, let's use that as our weekly content overview. This is where we can visually lay out all the content we need to batch create for the week, and then schedule it accordingly. I already have a sheet that I customized earlier using one of Canva's pre-designed templates, so I'm going to use that as our base. What's really helpful is that you can fill this sheet out with all your content ideas, assign formats for each piece, and even link them directly to their individual designs if you've already created them, or plan to. You can also go a step further and assign roles to team members, or mark designs for client review or approval. This makes it an incredibly practical tool, whether you're a one-person business trying to stay ahead of your content, or you're collaborating with others in a small team environment. This kind of system is perfect if you're someone who enjoys staying organized and mapping things out clearly in advance. But even if you're just starting out and trying to post more consistently, having this high-level view helps you stay strategic. You'll know exactly what needs to be done and when, which makes it easier to stay on track and avoid feeling overwhelmed. From this starting point, you can move right into brainstorming and collecting content ideas for the week or for an entire campaign. For example, let's say I head over to the Elements tab in the left-hand toolbar. I can search for and add sticky notes, just like I would in a real brainstorming session. Let's drag one into the sheet and write something like "No content myths" as a potential post idea. Then I can add another sticky note and write "Content batching" to build on the theme. These sticky notes can be grouped into categories, visually connected, or color-coded to keep everything organized. It's a super flexible and intuitive way to flesh out your content ideas and make sure you're covering the right topics. Now, this is just one example of what a whiteboard might look like when used this way. Of course, this setup is very specific to the kind of work I do as a content creator, but that's the beauty of it. The possibilities here are incredibly flexible. You could just as easily use your whiteboard for completely different purposes, like generating mood boards for a new brand, mapping out a product launch, or collecting references for a creative campaign. One of my absolute favorite things about using whiteboards in Canva is the ability to embed external inspiration directly into the space. All I have to do is copy the link from Instagram, nothing fancy, and then simply paste it right onto the whiteboard. Just like that, it becomes an embedded element that sits inside the whiteboard like any other design object. This is incredibly helpful because if I'm referencing the idea for myself, I have direct access to the format I want to mimic. And if I were working with a team, I'd be able to show them exactly what I mean when I say, "Let's aim for this type of content style." But you could absolutely use this feature to embed something from another creator, maybe a TikTok or a Reel that you found inspiring and want to use as the foundation for a remix or a stitched version. You could even paste in a YouTube link that sparked a new idea or topic you want to explore further. This makes your creative process much more dynamic and visual. And beyond just embedding links, you can of course drag and drop images into the board to use as design inspiration or reference points. You can take ideas you've written down and begin connecting them visually, drawing links between concepts, building on them as you go, and evolving your overall direction as the ideas take shape. If you're working as part of a team, this becomes an even more powerful tool. Everyone can jump in, collaborate in real time, add their input, comment on ideas, and build out the plan together. And the biggest advantage? You now have everything in one place. Your ideas, references, scripts, and draft content, all organized and easily accessible whenever you need it. And once you've started building your ideas and visuals on the whiteboard, all of those elements can easily be incorporated into your actual content with a simple copy and paste. For instance, let's say I'm working on this particular whiteboard, and I want to bring over a design element into another part of my campaign. I can just head over to that little arrow button again to add a new page, and start a new design type from there. I can simply select them, copy them, switch to a new page, and paste them directly into a new design. Let's say I decide to create a YouTube thumbnail right here. I'd just add the page, select the YouTube thumbnail format, and then paste in the elements I want to reuse. That's how quick and seamless it is. The ability to move assets around like this without downloading, re-uploading, or recreating them saves so much time. It keeps your designs consistent across formats and helps you build a cohesive brand look without constantly starting from scratch. Now, once your ideas are shaped and your visuals are taking form, it's time to move into longer form content. For a lot of creators and small business owners, that often starts with something like an email newsletter or a blog post. This is where Canva Docs come in, and I think they're the perfect addition to this kind of project. So I'll go ahead and add a new page to the project, this time selecting a Canva doc format. And again, you'll notice how it slides right into the same unified project alongside your whiteboards, sheets, thumbnails, and anything else you've already created. No need to open a separate file or start a new project. It all lives here together. For demonstration, I've gone ahead and pasted in one of my older newsletters to show you what this could look like. And this is where the content starts to really take shape. You might start out just jotting down rough ideas or bullet points for the week. Maybe you write a loose outline. Or if you're feeling fully in the creative zone, you could write out the entire piece of content directly in here, right from your inspiration to your final draft. This becomes your anchor content, the main long-form piece that the rest of your weekly content will flow from. Everything else, whether it's an Instagram post, a story, a caption, or even a video script, can be repurposed and adapted from this original piece. And of course, if you happen to create other long-form content as part of your brand, maybe you run a YouTube channel, publish blog articles, or host a podcast, you can use this same approach to guide all of your related content types. It helps you stay focused on your message and makes it way easier to build content around one central idea, rather than starting fresh each time. But here's what I really want to show you next. This is where things start getting even more powerful. Once your long-form content is drafted, you can actually start using Canva's magic write feature to enhance it further. Let's say I've just finished writing out the draft of my newsletter. Now I want to make sure that my subject line grabs attention and encourages clicks. All I need to do is highlight the full body of my newsletter. Just quickly select the entire block of text like this, and then head over to the magic write panel. From there, I'm going to choose Custom Prompt. In the prompt box, I'll type something like, "Give me 20 ideas for a click-worthy subject line for this newsletter," and then hit Submit. Within seconds, Magic Write begins generating a list of subject line suggestions. And while I might not use them exactly as they are, they serve as a fantastic brainstorming tool. I can scroll through them, pick the ones that stand out, copy and paste them just below my original draft, and begin refining from there. This process helps spark creativity and gives me a clearer direction without feeling stuck. Now, let's bring some visuals into the mix. I already have a project saved in Canva with various iterations of my newsletter header, kind of like my own archive of design styles I've tested over time. So if I want to add a banner to this newsletter draft, I just go to that project, choose the version I want, and click on the page. It instantly adds that page right into my current doc. From there, I can simply drag the design to the top of my document to position it correctly. Then I can right-click and select Set as Banner. And just like that, my newsletter now has a beautiful visual header that matches the rest of my branding. This not only makes it visually appealing, but also helps me better envision what the final version will look like before I schedule or send it out. What's even more helpful is that I can now start embedding any important links I want to include in my newsletter. Whether it's links to my YouTube videos, blog posts, product pages, or affiliate resources. Having everything neatly gathered in one place means I'm not scrambling last minute, trying to hunt down links across different platforms. It's all organized, connected, and ready to go. So when the time comes to schedule it through my email marketing tool, I can do it confidently and quickly, without extra stress. And since this whole approach is about repurposing content efficiently, the next natural step would be to take this main piece of content and adapt it into other formats. For example, from this newsletter, I can now start working on my Instagram carousel post. And this is where another exciting update from Canva Create comes in, one that makes transitioning between content types even easier than before. So Let's say I'm now ready to repurpose some of the content from my newsletter into an Instagram carousel. I'll start by grabbing a few key phrases or sentences that I think would work well as individual slides. To make this easier, I can now use the highlighter tool at the top of the Canva doc, which, by the way, is another new feature from Canva's latest update. The highlight presets allow me to easily mark different sections of text, so I can go through my newsletter draft and highlight the key takeaways, ideas, or quotes I want to use in the carousel. I could even color code them, for example, using one color for hooks, another for tips, and a third for CTA content. This makes it super simple to visualize what content will go where when I move over to the design stage. Now, to actually begin building my Instagram carousel, I'll go back to the page panel and add a new format. I'll choose the Instagram portrait post, which is perfect for vertical carousels. Once I've added it, I can go to my brand templates and insert a slide design that I've already created before. I'll just keep adding pages for each new slide. Each one will represent a different part of my carousel. Then I can go back to the newsletter content I previously highlighted, copy over those snippets, and paste them into each corresponding slide. I can tweak the text as needed, adjust the layout, and even bring in design elements from other parts of my project, like my Canva logo or previously saved brand elements. And that's how quickly I can start batch creating all my content from one whiteboard and sheet, staying inside a single unified project the entire time. Now that the carousel is complete, I can also reuse some of the same content to create even more pieces, like a short script for a reel. For this, I can go ahead and open up another Canva doc, which I'll add right next to the existing one to keep things organized and save myself time. I'll draft a short talking head script based on either the carousel content or the original newsletter. Once I'm happy with it, I can grab my phone and quickly record the video in one take. If I want to upload the video directly through the Canva app, I can just open it up on my phone, upload my footage, and it'll show up in my Uploads tab within the project. From there, I can add it to a video format page, which I can access by adding a new reel page through the social media section. I'll just use one of my older video placeholders to demonstrate, but if I wanted to record a voiceover directly inside Canva, I could do that too. All I have to do is click Record Yourself and then enter the studio mode. From there, I can record audio and start layering visuals to match the voiceover as I build the reel. Once the video is in place, I can go into the text section to generate captions automatically. Canva now also supports animated captions, including karaoke-style captions that highlight the words in sync with your speech, making your reels more dynamic and engaging. So just like that, another piece of content is created directly from the same core project. And we're not done yet. Let's say I also want to quickly turn one of those carousel slides into a standalone portrait Instagram post. Let me show you one last feature that's an absolute game changer when it comes to this type of content repurposing, and it works beautifully alongside the new visual suite. Imagine you've just created this Instagram post and now you want to repurpose it into a Pinterest graphic. So what I usually do is hover over my Instagram post page, just like this. And as you can see, these three little dots appear in the top corner. Once I click on them, I get several options, and one of the most useful ones is the resize page option. From here, I want to convert this Instagram post into a Pinterest pin. You can choose from any of the available design formats listed, but for now, I'll go ahead and select Pinterest pin. Once selected, Canva will quickly copy and resize the design for the new format. You'll see that it generates a completely new Pinterest pin version of your original Instagram post. Now, in most cases, that's all you need to do. But if the new format has a much different aspect ratio, like Pinterest versus Instagram, you may need to tweak the design a little. This could mean adjusting text placement, resizing images, or repositioning elements to make sure everything looks clean and visually appealing. One of my favorite features is that I can go back into my Sheets tab within the same project. This is where I usually keep my content plan. I can easily add the title, IG captions, Pinterest descriptions, hashtags, or post ideas directly into this space. It becomes a sort of centralized content hub where I'm batching all types of content: Instagram carousels, Facebook posts, Pinterest pins, newsletters, reels, without jumping between separate projects or folders. Now, once I'm done creating everything, I have the flexibility to share or export each piece of content however I want. For instance, I can choose to download only certain pages in PDF or PNG format. Let's say I want to export my newsletter for review. I can download it as a PDF for easy printing or offline reading. Or if I want to grab a batch of image posts, I can select pages 6, 8, 9, 12, and 15 and export them all as PNGs in one go. It's also smart enough to show you warnings, like if you try to export a video in a format that's not supported for that file type. So if a file type is incompatible, it'll notify you, which is super helpful in avoiding mistakes. If I have a mobile video I created, I can just select that page and download the video file directly without any issue. So the batch exporting process is seamless and efficient. This way of working is a huge improvement compared to the old method, where I used to create separate projects for each post or save everything in different folders labeled by week or content type. With Visual Suite 2.0, it's all in one central place. It's so much easier to manage, organize, and visually gauge your campaign. I can immediately tell if something's missing, like a promotional post or a quote card. And the best part? It's collaboration friendly. If you're working with a virtual assistant, a content team, or even directly with clients, you can easily assign pages, leave comments, and get approvals without switching platforms. Plus, if you want to do a real-time review, you can hop on a Zoom call, share your screen in presenter mode, and walk through the whole campaign with your team or client. They can give feedback, and you can tweak everything live, right there and then. It truly is a game changer. Visual Suite brings everything together and makes the entire content creation and management workflow faster, smarter, and more enjoyable. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on more content creation tips and tools coming your way. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.